Do you remember when Elmo yelled at his best friend for touching his blankie and then got trapped in a secret underground universe?
So he's not Elmo's friend anymore!
Hey everyone, I want to start by saying thank you so much for 60,000 subscribers. I've been promising to make this review for almost half a year now, and I'm so excited that I finally get to share it with you all. If you haven't already, make sure to hit the subscribe button and turn on notifications so you can find out what my next subscriber milestone video will be. And stick around to the end of the video for an exclusive sneak peek of an exciting new video game I've been developing with the folks at Retail Revenge, where you get to beat the crap out of every Karen who crosses your path. Let's not waste any more time and delve right in. This video is brought to you by viewers like you. Thank you. Make sure to turn on notifications and help get this video to 5,000 likes. The film opens with the Jim Henson logo, and it looks like even Kermit the Frog is reluctant to be on screen for this nonsense. The movie hasn't even started yet, and we've already seen the funniest gag. We then see Bert and Ernie preparing for their couples bath, and even if you don't think they're gay, they're undeniably exhibitionists.
Look at all those people!
Not that many people, apparently. The movie is so desperate to reach its theatrical runtime that the risque roommates waste 10 seconds with a pointless countdown.
3, 2, 1!
That was not a clip, that was the entire movie.
The movie starts properly in Elmo's bedroom. Elmo jumps out of bed as it appears he's been possessed by the ghost of Jim Henson. Elmo says he wants to show us his favorite thing in the whole world, which feels like the last thing you hear right before getting jumped by Freddy Fazbear. The film turns into an episode of Dora the Explorer as Elmo asks the audience to help him find his blankie.
Have you seen Elmo's blanket?
Did you check behind the Tiger Woods poster? I mean, it wouldn't be the first time he tried to cover up dirty laundry. He eventually finds his blankie, which is so crusty that it's taken on a life of its own. Yuck. Elmo then sings a song about how his blankie is his best friend in the whole world, because I guess Dorothy can go f herself. Also, I don't care how old you are, if your best friend is a magic floating carpet, you need to go outside and touch some grass. Even Aladdin had a boo. I'm not sure how they managed to make a blanket scarier than Pennywise the Clown, but this is nightmare fuel, even for a grown-ass man like me. Elmo says he would never leave his blankie behind, and the rest of the movie's like, wanna bet? Elmo accidentally spills juice all over his best friend, and takes his blankie to the laundromat, which apparently shares the building with the cast of Stomp. Wait, why does Big Bird have dirty socks if he's always barefoot? You know what? Probably best we don't know why. Elmo tries to drown his best friend before suffocating him in the dryer. Don't believe me? Consider this scene but from the blankie's point of view. Elmo runs into Zoe, who's down in the dumps because her father won't take her to the zoo. Elmo tries to bring the zoo to her by doing the world's worst animal impressions.
Oh, I know, it's a pig!
Bitch, when's the last time you've seen a pig at the zoo? Zoe immediately becomes infatuated with Elmo's blankie, and Elmo instantly goes from cuddly red furball to prickly green-eyed monster. And I mean, to be fair to Elmo, how would you react if someone started randomly rubbing their face on your shit? Zoe says she'll give it back in a minute, but Elmo wants his blankie back now.
Elmo wants his blanket back now!
So at this point, I think it's fair to say that both of them are in the wrong without being particularly malicious. Zoe shouldn't have taken Elmo's blankie without asking, but at the same time, Elmo could have been way kinder when asking for it back. If this were a normal episode of Sesame Street, I imagine they resolve this with Zoe apologizing for taking the blankie without asking, and Elmo agreeing to share it with her. But since this is a whole ass movie, we gotta draw out their bickering for at least another hour.
No! Elmo wants his blanket back now!
The two get into a tug of war over the blankie, and things go from 0 to 100 real fast. Aw, sh**. Now it's personal. Zoe apologizes for tearing the blankie, as any good friend would do. And how does Elmo respond?
So he's not Elmo's friend anymore!
What the hell, Elmo? That's like the tiniest tear I've ever seen, and you're acting like she burned your house down. You really need better friends. I'm of course talking to Elmo's blankie. Things get even worse when Telly Monster comes in on his roller skates and accidentally swipes the blankie. You see what happens when you give Muppets legs? Telly almost crashes into this woman carrying a tray of glasses, but avoids her at the last second. And then Elmo runs in. Nice going, douchebag. Elmo chases Telly all over town, which catches the attention of Grover, who drops his waiting job to turn into Super Grover.
What about breakfast? No, thank you, sir.
Okay, that one actually got me. The blankie flies through the air before landing in the hands of Oscar the Grouch. Oscar uses the sentient snot rag as a tissue, gross, before throwing it in the trash can. So wait, is he putting it in his house or throwing it in the trash? Elmo finds out what happened to his blankie and nearly has a stroke. And man, I really wish the movie ended right here. Elmo breaks into Oscar's trash can without permission and asks the monobrowed monster to give his blankie back. Sorry, did I say ask? What I meant to say was Elmo has a complete meltdown and has to get restrained by his neighbors to keep him from setting the trash can on fire.
Oscar!
He's not home, dumbass. Everyone tells Elmo that he'll just have to wait for Oscar to get back, and Elmo tells them to f off.
Everybody break it up. Nothing to see here. Move along.
Elmo, I'm not sure you're in a position to be turning away friends right now. Elmo can't even wait 10 seconds before taking it upon himself to break into Oscar's home.
Elmo didn't know Oscar's place was this big.
Damn, dude lives in a trash can that's somehow more spacious than my entire apartment. Elmo finds his blankie next to a door marked Keep Out. I'm sure that's nothing to worry about. He accidentally unlocks the door, which turns out to be a portal to another dimension. Elmo gets sucked off to Grouchland, as it turns out Oscar was home the entire time. Too bad Sesame Street doesn't have stand your ground laws. Elmo goes full Wizard of Oz as he ends up in the one place he truly belongs, in the trash.
Elmo doesn't think he's on Sesame Street anymore.
I don't think Sesame Street is on Sesame Street anymore. It turns out Elmo has ended up in Grouchland, a bizarro version of Sesame Street where even the residents hate having to sing.
What a fine big day!
Still better than Cocomelon, the city even has its own version of Sharon Stone.
You like me! You really like me!
You know, I can imagine all the 4-year-olds in the audience laughing their asses off at that reference.
Armando, I grouch! Therefore, I am!
You know, I get that they're trying to make Grouchland look like a tacky-colored trash pit, but honestly, this just looks like the inside of every queer bar in the Midwest. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a Grouchland-themed burlesque show. Elmo was officially welcomed to Grouchland by Mayor Groucho Marx, and the Grouches make him feel right at home. I imagine parents did the same thing after buying their kids tickets to this movie. Just then, a cartoonishly evil helicopter swoops in and starts sucking off everyone's belongings. Elmo steps up to stop the hellish helicopter from sucking off a little girl.
You keep using the word. I don't think it means what you think it means.
It turns out the helicopter belongs to Huxley, the big bad of the movie who's played by Mandy Patinkin. Gee, I wonder how he landed that part. Huxley says that everything he touches belongs to him, including Elmo's blankie.
But I have to get home with my brand new whoopee.
I don't know what Huxley's MO is, but I don't trust any grown man who calls a blanket a whoopee. Huxley flies off as Bert and Ernie pause the film to recap the scene we just watched.
He took Elmo's blanket!
Are kids' attention spans really so short that they can't remember what they just saw 30 seconds ago? Elmo tries to get the other Grouches to help him, which goes about as well as you'd expect.
Can you please help Elmo get his blanket back?
I'd love to, but I don't speak English.
Everyone tells Elmo to f off, except for the little Grouch girl he helped earlier. She explains that Huxley rules over Grouchland like an authoritarian dictator. Not because he's the strongest or the smartest, but because the other Grouches are too lazy and mean to work together to take him down. Where have I heard that one before? The Grouch girl agrees to help Elmo get his blankie back, while Huxley's henchbug stalks him like the cameraman from Blair Witch. She says Huxley's lair is a long way off, but Elmo claims he's done much harder things before.
Like what? Elmo learned to tie his own shoes.
Motherfucker, you don't even wear shoes. She points out Elmo might not make it home ever again. And that's supposed to be a deal breaker? Elmo says he doesn't need any help getting to Huxley's lair, and can rescue his blankie all by himself.
Elmo's gonna make it. You'll see.
Well, it was nice knowing you, Elmo. Who am I kidding? No, it wasn't. Elmo takes one look at the mountain and immediately gives up. That didn't take long. He's about to call it quits when he's interrupted by the shrub monster from hell, who sings him a song to convince him to keep going.
Now get up there, my little red biped, and take that step!
Elmo gets so engrossed by the song that he has a stroke halfway through. So that's what happens when you use the wrong batteries for Tickle Me Elmo. It turns out Huxley is on to Elmo's plot, and at this point, I'm convinced the casting director only looked at the top half of Mandy's headshot before giving him the role.
Wow, his eyebrows are huge!
It's best not to stare, lest you fall into their hypnotic gaze. Meanwhile, the residents of Sesame Street realize Elmo has gone missing, and head to Grouchland to track him down. They get to Grouchland, where it turns out Oscar is the golden turd in a sea of crap. Oscar ditches the gang to hang out with his groupies. They try to ask the cops for help, and end up getting thrown in jail.
It's against the law to ask for help in Grouchland!
I thought Grouchland was meant to be the opposite of the real world. Huxley's henchbugs trick Elmo into going the wrong way by moving the arrow on the sign to the castle.
Your tushy bone is crushing my skull!
I'm surprised that line made it onto Sesame Street before they moved to HBO. Elmo gets trapped in a cave where his ominous glowing eyes threaten to swallow the audience whole. He finds a minecart and goes on a ride through the dollar store Temple of Doom. Elmo escapes the tunnel, and Huxley reacts the same way my girlfriend does after round 5.
He's still coming?
We're then treated to the best song in the movie, as Huxley sings an ode to his massive hoard of random crapola.
When umbrellas disappear, they're not lost, they're all here. Got them locked up in a box with a million missing stuff. I glove here and it's all we love!
Man, Eminem's been real quiet since this dropped. Apparently, Huxley's voice is so good it almost landed him a role in West Side Story.
They said I wasn't right for Maria. What do they know? I feel pretty.
That sounds like the best show ever. You're telling me people wouldn't pay top dollar to see Mandy Patinkin crushing it as Maria? Huxley plans to stop Elmo in his tracks when Sesame Street's power couple shows up again to spell out the message of the movie.
Maybe Huxley just hasn't learned how to share yet.
God, do you know how annoying it is to have some jackass interrupt your movie with their whiny little side comments? Well, do you? The henchbugs Williams once again block Elmo's path, claiming to be a construction crew for a new Starbucks. Cause if there's one thing the Grouches need, it's extra caffeine. They send him toward the Queen of Trash's lair, and Elmo thanks the head bug by giving him a hug. That's when we see just how touch-starved this incel insect really is. Back in jail, Big Bird tortures the other prisoners by making them listen to the Sesame Street soundtrack.
Oh no! Let me out of here! It's torture!
I guess the show really does know its audience. Elmo makes it to the Trash Queen's lair, where he's confronted by a pair of run-down wheelers.
This looks like Joe.
He said the J-word!
Jew?
We then see where half the film's budget went as Vanessa Williams' Trash Queen seduces Elmo with her siren song of sanitation. And say what you want about Williams' performance, but this is the one scene where it appears the scenery is chewing her. The Trash Queen suspects Elmo of being Huxley's spy, but Elmo says he just wants to get his blankie back.
Because it's mine.
Well, you certainly sound like Huxley.
The Queen of Trash says Elmo is more like Huxley than he thinks. Elmo claims he's nothing like Huxley, until he remembers that he's been a massive asshole for most of the movie. The Queen says the only way for Elmo to prove he isn't like Huxley is to give her something.
Huxley could never give anyone anything.
Okay, sounds easy enough. So what does he have to give her? Money? Blood? Vital organs?
100 raspberries.
Wait, what?
Oh, that sends shivers down my spine.
She tells him to give her 100 raspberries in 30 seconds. And I feel like the director just wanted to watch Vanessa Williams get off on getting tongued by a bunch of Muppets.
Oh, I love raspberries.
Elmo gives her 100 raspberries, despite not having a tongue, and the Queen of Trash comes so hard that her seat explodes. The Queen compliments Elmo for being the first one to finish the challenge to completion, and sends him on his way. How exactly was this supposed to be a trap again? Back at the castle, Huxley is watching Bug play with himself when he sees that Elmo has escaped again.
Why, that little red bath man.
Wait, what did he call him?
Little red bath man.
Did he just call Elmo a bastard?
Bath man.
I mean, we all wanted to, but I didn't think they would say it in his own movie. Huxley tells Bug to quit beating himself off, and sends in his secret weapon to defeat Elmo.
It's time to take care of that little red wad once and for all.
Okay, he actually says fuzzwad, but we all know what he really wants to call him. It turns out Huxley's secret weapon is a giant chicken, whom I'm assuming is Gonzo and Henrietta's bastard son. The chicken attempts to eat Elmo when the tone-deaf furball tries to save himself by singing.
Elmo's a little teapot, short and stout.
Elmo's singing is so bad the chicken flings him to the opposite side of the castle. Elmo is convinced he'll never get his blankie back, which would be a sad moment if it wasn't for another pointless Bert and Ernie cameo. The two stop the movie again to assure the audience the movie will have a happy ending. Spoiler alert.
Who'd want to see a movie with a sad ending, Bert?
Titanic. Titanic had a sad ending.
You know, I'm sure that James Cameron would be open to an all-Muppet reboot of Titanic. Meanwhile, Grizzy helps the Sesame Street gang break out of jail, while Oscar rallies the other Grouches to stand up to Huxley.
When they take our goo, we gotta do! Take our goo, we gotta do!
Looks like today's movie is brought to us by the letter Malcolm X. The next morning, Elmo runs into a very hangry caterpillar who gives him the motivation to go after his blankie.
Just look inside.
The scene ends before we see Elmo accidentally squish the caterpillar with his clumsy, uncanny legs. The movie reaches its climax as Elmo's character arc comes full circle, because while the movie started with Elmo breaking into someone's home and demanding his blankie back, the movie ends with Elmo breaking into someone's home and demanding his blankie back.
Elmo wants his blanket back now. Elmo wants his blanket back now.
How is he not like Huxley again? Huxley traps Elmo in his claw machine and threatens to squish him to death with his giant branding machine. Elmo begs for his life, while Huxley points out just how annoying the tyrannical toddler's voice is. Just then, Elmo's friends arrive to save the day, while Oscar leads an angry mob to burn Huxley's castle to the ground. Huxley tries to kill Elmo, but gets thwarted by a life-size game of mousetrap. Bug gives Elmo his blankie back, before telling off Huxley in the most kid-friendly way possible.
You're nothing but a basket case.
It's a 90s G-rated movie. I'm sure they'd let you call him a bastard one time. Huxley pleads for mercy and promises to give back all the toys he stole, while Bug tells him to put his money where his mouth is. Elmo thanks everyone for helping him get his blankie back, even though it was Bug who did 99% of the work. The gang says they're proud of Elmo for learning his lesson, even though he's basically the same person he was at the beginning of the film, as his whole personality still revolves around this goddamn blankie. The gang takes a shortcut back to Sesame Street, and Elmo finally apologizes to Zoe for losing his shit. He asks her if they can still be friends, and Zoe ignores her opportunity to put an end to her and Elmo's toxic friendship. Elmo allows Zoe to hold the blankie, which is a sweet gesture until you remember it's been in Grouchland for 2 whole days, so it probably smells like shit.
What could happen?
Shit. Shut up, Elmo. And we never see Huxley again after this movie, because Oscar and the other Grouches probably burned him at the stake right after Elmo and crew got back to Sesame Street. The movie ends with one final song, as Elmo thanks the audience for all their help, even though this whole mess could have been avoided if Elmo wasn't such a greedy little twerp. Don't believe me? Let's review. Elmo refused to share his blanket with anyone, and yelled at his best friend when she tried to borrow it. He got into a tug of war over the crusty cloth rag, which led to it getting lost in Oscar's trash can. Instead of asking Oscar politely for the blankie back, Elmo broke into his house and tried to steal it back, which caused him to get lost in Grouchland. Elmo was then forced to rescue his blankie from the human personification of his inner demons, but refused to accept help from anyone along the way. He allowed himself to get duped at every turn and nearly got killed by countless foes. When he finally made it to Huxley's lair, he immediately got captured and only managed to escape after his friends arrived to save the day. The only reason Elmo did get his blankie back was because the bad guy's henchmen were sick of his crap and not because of anything Elmo did himself. And even though Elmo finally apologized for yelling at Zoe, he still has an unhealthy obsession with an inanimate object that doesn't even have eyes to see just how terrible Elmo really is. F you, Elmo. Thanks for watching, everyone, and thank you so much for 60,000 subscribers. So for the past few months, I've been working with the folks at Retail Revenge to create an exciting new 2D fighting game that gives you the cathartic carnage of tearing into the worst Karens imaginable. Check it out. So as someone who used to work the graveyard shift at a Burger King, I cannot tell you how cathartic this game has been to develop. Click the link in the description to learn more about the game and how you can help bring it to life. We're going to be launching our Kickstarter later this year, so make sure to follow Retail Revenge on Instagram and other social media platforms for all the latest updates. Thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all next time.
And I say, hey, what a wonderful kind of day. If you can learn to work and play and get along with each other.